the training curriculum. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So here our training course would be Business Objects Data Services. There are two types of levels that we have defined. Just a minute. Yeah. There are two types of levels that we have defined. First is the basic level, which is the actual scope of this training course. Okay. So we'll be covering all the basic concepts of Business Objects Data Services. So far as advanced level is concerned, that is not the scope of this training course. And as a fresher, I would suggest you that you go for the basic level, and then with the basic level, after that you can quickly move on to the IT industry, and you would be able to perform very well in any project. Yeah, in the actual scenario. Okay. About me, I am a BODS developer working with Deloitte Services right now, and I have a 3 years of experience in Business Objects Data Services. Okay.
Okay.
Let's quickly move on to highlights of this course. Basically, highlights of this course is there would be 10 different units. The whole course curriculum is divided into 10 different units, and these 10 different units are like introduction and overview, platform transformation. So there are 3 types of transformations. We'll be discussing the details in the coming sessions. Okay, so with every unit there would be around 12 to 13 or maybe 20 topics, subtopics, and I'll be covering every topic one by one. After the end of each session, I would be providing you with the videos basically, so that later on if you want to look towards those videos, then you can always look towards those videos for a revision kind of thing. Okay. Also, along with the video sessions, let me write. So along with the videos of every session,
whenever I want.
so along with the video sessions, I'll be sending you assignments. Very important. If you complete the assignments properly with complete understanding, then you would be having a very good understanding of Business Objects Data Services. Okay? And the assignment would be actually your hands-on case studies. Okay? You would be having a hands-on case studies that you can practice it in BODS. Now next is, along with the assignments, if you want, I can always take a very small kind of test of yours during this course. The course would be of around 30 days, but this is extendable to 45 days in case you need some more time for your practice and for your understanding. If I feel that you have you are here a very slow speed of learning, then I'll make it towards 45 days. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, that's all about the training curriculum. Now let's move on to the actual topic 2 of us. Alright, so here I would be now demonstrating you, giving you an introduction of Business Objects Data Services. This is unit 1 going on. Now we have a top, as I told you, there are 10 units, and in one unit there are multiple topics. This is the second topic of Business Objects, that is Business Objects Data Services, which is topic 2. So basically in this particular topic we will be covering the history of the Business Objects Data Services, how Business Objects Data Services came into the picture, and the overview about it, and the purpose. Purpose means I'll be telling you where in the IT industry, what are the scenarios in the IT industry in which we are actually using Business Objects Data Services. Along with that, I'll also explain you about ETL process. Have you ever heard about ETL process?
Yeah, I know that.
That's great. That's really great. Okay, so is it in your college time you have learned about ETL process?
Yeah, also college time, also after means completion. I know that.
Okay.
ETL process, yeah.
So this is all about the agenda. Would be like history, SAP tool overview, EIM, overview, purpose, each year process overview, and the process phases.
Okay.
So when it comes to history, the business object data services is actually an SAP product. This was a software tool. This is a software tool designed by business objects. There are two different companies, business objects and SAP. The tool was actually designed by business objects in 2000. Okay. And then later on what happened is the business objects data services company, it got acquired by another company, SAP, in 2007. So now business objects data services that was earlier called as BODS, now it is called as SAP BODS. So whatever products which were there developed by business object company, now they are called as SAP. All of the products has been now prefixed with SAP after it got acquired by SAP company. If you speak of SAP tool as a whole, there are all the tools of SAP, they are broadly categorized into three different types of tools. The first category is SAP BO, Business Intelligence Tools. Business Intelligence, ever heard about this? What is it?
Yeah, a little bit I know, but not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be explaining basically what is business intelligence in the coming slides, okay? Then the second is the enterprise information management. This is our focus right now. Information management means, as the name is suggesting, we are managing the information. Whatever data we have currently, you know about transactional systems, right? Transactional system means our day-to-day data, daily activity data. Those are called as transactional data. So we actually, that is a raw data. We make that data quality specific. We improve the quality of the data and we only pick up.
Only BODS experience will help, or do you need anything other than this? Can you just suggest?
Okay, so business objects data services is the ETL part of the information management. Information management as a whole will have the other parts also. Business objects data services in itself is just an ETL part. If you want the other part, also the reporting part, then you will need some other tool for that. It's not just BODS that will be completely sufficient for the information management, but it is providing the information management services. Okay. Now, so basically information management, when we say the term is more specific in the data migration projects and the data warehousing. I'll be explaining these two terms also in the coming session, in the coming PPTs. The third part of SAP is SAP Enterprise Performance Management. Performance means, as the name suggests, once we have the data, the quality data, we have to work on the performance also. Performance means that the data should be so organized that the organizations are able to use that data with maximum performance. So this is not our scope. The business intelligence is not our scope. We will be focusing on information management. Okay? Okay, next. So now let's have some more detail about enterprise information management. SAP Enterprise Information Management. What does it say is when we speak of the SAP tools for information management, there are two tools, data integrator and data quality. Data integrator, what does it perform? First of all, let's understand that. Integrator would be doing all the quality checks. For example, let's learn it with the help of an example. You are Aparna, right? Aparajita, sorry.
Okay.
So, for example, you are working in a company and your company saves your name as Aparajita. Okay? Now, suppose you have shifted to the second company, right? No. Now let's take an example that your company is saving the date of birth in the format DDMMYYYY. Now suppose that another company acquires your company, right? So your company is and the other second company which is the acquirer, right? That second company wants the data of your company into its own format. So there are two different formats, right? We are integrating the data of the two different companies into one format. That is called as integration. And there are some other transformation rules also, right? That can be as per the business. For example, that you have an account in your bank. The bank saves the information as per the amount withdrawn and amount deposited. The second bank who has acquired this bank saves the information in the format, the amount withdrawn, amount deposited, and the final amount also. That would be another business rule, right? So all these business rules that we apply for the data integration is being performed by data integrator. Second part of it is data quality. For example, data quality means, for example, there are certain columns in the date of birth which are null in one company. Another company says we don't encourage null values. We want wherever the date of birth is not available, in those places rather than null, the value should be NA. So this is data quality when we are doing some quality check. Okay. Secondly, for example, the date of birth is something like, for example, the age of a person is something like 150. That's really not possible at all, right? That is here, these kinds of errors we remove using data quality part of the tool, data quality tools. Now, as I told you, SAP BODS, which we are learning right now, which we would be learning in the coming sessions, this BODS is actually the summation of data integrator and the data quality both. Data integrator and data quality components, they both components are there in the one tool itself, SAP BODS. Earlier, what was happening is, what used to happen is these two used to be the two different components. So integrator was performing all the ETL activities, and then the data after the data integrator after doing all the integration jobs was passing on the data to the data quality tool, and the data quality tool was performing the data quality check, and if there are certain issues, then data quality tool was again passing back the code or data to the data integrator tool. So there was a kind of to and fro movement of data from data integrator to data quality and data quality to data integrator. That was an extra effort, right?
Okay.
So what SAP BODS did, it combined the two solutions, the two tools into one solution. All right? Okay. Listen, okay, so basically for the very first two sessions it will be completely theoretical, alright? I would try to finish up these two sessions as soon as possible, and then for the third session we will be having an actual BODS tool overview, okay? So then you will start enjoying the session, okay? Don't worry, just for the first two sessions it's completely theoretical, okay? Now, SAP BO, and even if right now you are not completely understanding things, you feel that okay fine, 10%, 20%, there is certain concept but still missing. Wait for the time, with the consequent sessions, I'll be coming back to these topics, okay, and then I'll be revising these topics, okay. Alright. Now, SAP BODS delivers a single enterprise class solution. It's a single solution for data integration, I mentioned, right? Data quality, data profiling. Profiling is again another term, that's a part of data quality, you can say. Data profiling is like if you want to replace the comma with the, for example, if you want, data profiling is like, for example, if your name is mentioned in your database as A dot, whatever be your surname, and you want that the data should not be A dot something, it should be complete Aparajita and then the surname. So that is called data profiling, very small data quality, data checks that we do. Okay, next is the text data processing. What do you mean by text data processing? Again, the text data. It do not contain, it do not cover the data which is a date format, or which is a currency format. Text data is completely in a textual format. For example, if you want to remove all the blanks, you see that in your company database, it is written as science, right? And there is SC, and then there are a lot of break spaces between C and the letter I. You want to remove these blanks. So these kinds of text data processing is also covered in this tool. So this allows you to enhole, integrate the data, transform the data, improve the data, and deliver the trust data to critical business processes. It means you are actually in one, if I say in one line, you are just improving the data quality and delivering the quality data from the raw data. That's it. Okay? This is easy?
Yeah.
Great. Next is purpose. Now we'll be discussing about what all BODs can do. Okay? ETL, first of all, ETL. As I told you, ETL is, okay, I didn't told you yet. ETL is extraction, transformation and loading. Let me explain these three terms first of all. So extraction is basically when you are pulling the data from the source system. Let's take an example. How many databases you know? You know about Teradata?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you know about Oracle also. That is very commonly used database, right? So for example, in your Oracle system, say suppose your source data system, okay? So you are first of all, you will be pulling the data from the source systems. Very easy, right? That part is called extraction. Transformation is, for example, in the source system, it is written as A and B. The columns are A and B. And in the target system, you want the value C, which is A plus B. Okay? So this extracting, getting A and B from source system is extraction. And doing the calculation part, for example, A plus B is equals to C. This is called as transformation. As the name suggests, if you see the literal meaning of transformation, we are transforming the data, right? For us, A and B doesn't matter. For us, C is the quality value. C is the required value. So we are finding out C. We are doing the transformation part. Now once we have found out the C, we are now loading the data to our target system, that is data, right? So loading the target with, this is just a very small example I am giving you, okay, for your understanding. Loading target with C is called as loading step of ETL. That is, L stands for loading. So now I'll be reading the definition. Pulling out the data from any system, applying changes to modify the data, or applying programming logic to enhance the extracted data, and loading the data into a other system. This is called as ETL. Example, ETL of data from SQL Server database to Oracle. From one database to another, okay? Now, if you see, I told you already that BODS has two components, data integrator and data quality. So the data integrator perform, extract and the loading part. And the data quality perform that transformation thing. The transformation part is performed by data quality component. As the name suggests, quality means we are improving the quality. We are doing the transformations on the data. And extracting and loading is done by integrator. Integrator means it is taking the source from data from multiple sources and integrating the data, making it one. That is again data integrator. Let's move on. Purpose second, that is data warehousing. You know about what is a warehouse? Data warehouse?
Yeah, it's means where we can store the history of a
Right, exactly. So data warehouse is a relational database. Basically, data warehouse, if we see in today's IT industry, data warehouse we use for query and analysis rather than transactional processing. That means, for example, if you are a managing director in a company and you have to make some strategy, finance strategy for the financial year 2014. So you would need the 2013 and the history data for your strategy. You may want to see, okay, fine, what all kinds of customers are there who are giving us maximum profit. What are the areas from which we are getting maximum customers? What are the Indian states which are comprising the customers, maximum customers, something like that. So all those history data, you cannot directly access the transactional data. Why? Because it's a completely raw data. For a manager, it's not useful. So manager would need the quality data. Okay? So that quality data is saved in the data warehouse. So you can see that we are also loading the data, the ETL part, the extract, transform and load part that I just told you. We load the data into data warehouse. Okay?
Okay.
Now, so data warehousing is basically a database specifically designed and developed in a particular format to enable easy data analysis and reporting. You can say reporting by a manager or by the business user. This could be developed using data from various databases. Okay. So if you see over here in the diagram, we have ERP system of a company, we have WMS, warehouse management system, we have customer relationship management systems. 3 different systems there are. We are integrating all these systems into one by using data services, which is business objects data services, and loading the data, quality data to the data warehouse. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Okay, next. Next, the data migration. So the first kind of projects that you will be getting in your IT industry when you will be actually working as an IT professional would be data warehouse projects. Second category would be data migration. What do you mean by data migration? I need to understand it with the help of a very small example. Suppose there are 2 companies. A client has the company called A and there is another company called B. And this both the companies, company A and company B, are a very small scale company. And they do similar business. For example, let's take both are the very small banks. Okay?
Okay.
Now the company A and company B, that means both banks, they want to merge themselves to a single organization. They want that we are a very small company, we will merge together, we will be a big company then. So let's do one thing, let's merge together. They both decided to merge into a single organization. Okay? Now suppose that you were the customer of bank A also, and you were the customer of bank B also. You have an account in bank A with a deposit of 40,000. You are the customer with bank A with the amount of 40,000 rupees. You have deposited this much amount in bank A. And the bank B, you're the customer with the bank B also, and you have 50,000 deposited over there. Okay? Now when these 2 banks merge and become a single entity, the database would not have 40 and 50,000 amount, right? They will have a single entry of 90,000 in your name, right?
Yeah.
So they both need to merge the data of the clients, right? So this is called as data integration, as I again told you. I already told you a similar example of data integration. Okay? So suppose that again, and add on to this, for example, bank A has the Oracle backend. They have the Oracle database, whereas bank B was having SQL Server database. Now again, there are databases, the 2 databases are also different. So again, they need to combine together, make a single database, right? This is called as integration, and this is called as a data migration project. You'll come across many times in news also, this particular company has acquired this particular company. For example, in our case, SAP acquired business objects, right? These kinds of acquires, mergers happen very often. So in that case, it becomes a data migration thing. When you are migrating the data from one database to another database.
Okay.
Okay?
Then what, actually I have a doubt. Then what's the exactly difference between data migration and data integration?
Data integration is a part of data migration. Data integration is required in data migration. Data integration is a concept. Okay? So data integration would be required. Okay, let's learn it with the help of example. For example, your date of birth in bank A was in the format YYDD right? And your date of birth in bank B was in the format DDMMYY. So when both the databases coming together, again you need to integrate. What do you mean by integration? Making into one particular entity.
One particular. Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
this integration is required in data migration project.
Okay.
Okay? No.
Okay.
Next is business intelligence. As I told you, business intelligence is very important term. Once we have loaded our data to the data warehouse, now business users are using this data. So this combination of warehousing system, okay, and the reporting. Reporting means when business users are making actual reports. This combination is called as business intelligence. Okay? I repeat, you have done the part of ETL. You have loaded the part to a data warehouse. Right? This is the data warehouse you prepared. Now this data warehouse would further be used by business users, right? So that second step and the first step, both merged together becomes business intelligence. Okay?
Yeah.
Great. Next is data integration. As I told you, again, integration is a part of data migration project. So
Migration.
let me tell you, sometimes it happens. Yeah, sometimes it happens. It's actually quite synonymous terms. So, for example, data migration is more of a business term when we are migrating data from one database to another database. Data integration, when we come, it can be the multiple databases are there, and we are compiling the data from multiple database to one particular database. For example, here see if this is a diagram. We have the data in the cube format. We have the data in the semi-cube format. We have data in the relational database format. Excel sheet is there. FLET files are there. Now, all these sources, once the data from these sources crosses this business objects data integrator layer, they have the same format. It's just like, for example, in the cube format, your birth date was saved as 15th of August 15 AUG 2000. Okay, and in the second database, your date of birth was saved as 15 AUG. Apart from AUG, it's written as 08. So 1508 2000. So you want that the target database should have the data in the format 08, that means MMDDY1. The date should come after month. So from both the databases, your date of birth would pass on as a one single format into the final target. That is data integration. Combining data residing in different sources and providing users with unified view of this data. Unified means one particular view of it. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Now, ETL process overview. How does ETL work? Again, it's just a detailed version of what I already told you. There are three different databases: data source A, data source B, data source C. ETL will, and the source can be the online transaction programs. It can be the relational databases. For example, Teradata is there, SQL Server is there, Oracle is there. It can be legacy database. In case of legacy means the old one. It means if for example, if one company is acquiring another company, that the company which got acquired, that has that becomes a legacy database, old system, and we are using the new system now. The next is the flat. It can be a flat file. It can be an Excel file, XML file also. ETL will unify the data. It will do the data integration part. Okay. Extract, transform, load, and it will load the data to data warehouse, right? This is a target system actually. Target can be the online analysis programs. That means the programs which is used by business users for their analysis. It can be business intelligence applications. It can be the reporting application. It can be any database also. This is all about ETL process. Okay. ETL is not that tough. When I'll be giving you some case studies, I think you'll be having better idea of ETL. Okay. Great. Now there are certain phases in ETL processes. Okay, it's kind of repetition only. There are source systems. I told you earlier. So the first phase is actually extraction. That means getting the data to our landing tables. Right. So after the extraction phase, we come across landing tables. Landing tables are the tables which have the copy of data from source systems. Landing tables will have the exact copy of the source data. There won't be any difference, okay? We still not have applied our transformation rules. We have not done A plus B equals to C till now. In extraction phase, we are just getting A and B and saving it into landing tables. Okay? Clear? Now after landing, we perform staging. Staging is just equivalent to transformation, where we are doing applying transformation logics. We are doing corrections, for example, name and address. For example, if your address is being saved as of 52 and then 52, and suppose your house number is 52 and the letter is A. Okay, so you are saving it as 52 blank A. The target system, they want that there should not be any blank. Rather than blank, you can use hyphen. So all these corrections you will be doing in staging phase. You will be cleaning the data. You will be replacing the blank spaces with the hyphen. Maybe your name needs some corrections. For example, there are lots of blank spaces. There is comma. For example, if the name is Megha Mittal, the name is saved as Megha, Mittal. But the target system, they want it should not be Megha, Mittal, it should be Megha space Mittal. That comma would be replaced by a blank. So these kinds of cleaning is called as data profiling. Okay. Once we have profiled the data, we have cleaned the data, we will be doing transformation phase. That means A plus B equals to C. All these kinds of business rules we will be applying. And once the transformation is done, the data will be saved in staging table. Those tables are called as staging table. Now from staging table, the data gets moved to the target systems. Before moving the data to target system, we are verifying the business rule. We are performing the testing. That is a testing phase. Okay. The second phase, the third phase is the loading part. Once we have the complete data in the quality format, now we are loading the data to the target environment. Okay. These are the three multiple steps of ETL. Okay. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so here is the second topic of our training that is finished. BODS is designed by business objects. It got acquired, the company got acquired by SAP. Business object
When will the course also start?
Sorry? Sorry?
No, nothing.
Okay. Okay, this is a summary of the chapter. Let's move on to the next topic, topic 3 now. This is, the course has already started, okay? All the other part of the course, we cover the first 4 topics in the demo session, alright? Let's learn about business objects data services architecture. Again, a very theoretical session. So, architecture basically covers the architecture of business object data services. I'll be covering components of business objects. There are multiple components in this particular complete tool. Is a combination of components. I'll be covering components of business objects, data services, and component-wise description. Okay. Let's move on to architecture diagram. Don't get confused. I'll be actually showing you the repository, everything, job server, everything, whatever is being shown in this diagram. All right. Currently, even the 50% understanding is enough. All right. You'll be getting the rest of the understanding when I'll be actually showing you in the coming session. This is a repository. As in the name suggests, repository is basically a place where we are saving all our data. So whatever development you do in this tool, all those developments get saved . Yeah. So basically, architecture of business objects data services, it covers the repository. Repository is a place where we are developing our code. We are saving the data, not the data, basically the code, the development that we have done. This is the central repository. Let me make it now. Okay. This is the central repository. Then why do we need a central repository? And there are multiple local repositories. Why do we need that? Suppose you and your friend, let's take it as Deepika. Okay, Aparajita and Deepika, they are working in the same company, same project. Now what happens is, company would be providing you as a part of this tool, there will be multiple local repositories for one particular developer. You have your local repository named as Aparajita. Your friend Deepika will have another local repository named as Deepika. Okay, you are developing your code in the one repository. Deepika is developing her code into another repository. And by this central repository, you will be checking in your code into the central repository once you are done with your development. Suppose Deepika also has to work on the same thing that you are working on, then she will take the component from the central repository and then develop it in her own local repository. So the local repository is basically meant for maintaining the integrity of your code. It should not like that the one code should be, if you both are developing in the same repository, obviously it may happen that you are doing A plus B is equals to C and she is she is doing A divided by B is equals to C. So both are disturbing each other, right? Therefore you need your different repositories for the development task. We have a component designer. What does this designer component do? It is the actual designer window where you are developing your components, where you are doing the development. Okay? Metadata. Again, it's a reporting layer, not our scope. Administrator, again another component. We have a job server. We have access servers. These are the components of BODS. Let me discuss it in detail now. So if we summarize the standard components of BODS, it is DS Designer, DS Job Server, DS Engine, DS Repository, Access Server, Address Server, Administrator, and Metadata Reports Tool. We'll be covering around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 components of these in detail in the coming session. Okay? Designer is actual graphical user interface that lets you create, test, execute, and debug the BODS job.
Sure.
It's basically the space where you are using. Transformations is, again, I'll tell you about what is the data transformations. Okay? It enables developers to create objects. You will be creating the objects, you will be dragging, dropping. This will be basically your most interesting part of the BODS that you will be enjoying a lot. Okay? Okay, so once you have done that A plus B is equals to C, right? Now suppose there are 100 rows, 100 records with A values and B values. So you want to process all those records. Now that processing is done by job server. So job server gets the job from its repository. It starts the data services engine. Engine is basically the component that actually processes the job. And job server, it calls the engine. It gives the order to the engine that, come on, now you have to execute the job. Okay? So this is all. Job server basically executes the data services engine for processing the job that you have designed using DS Designer. You will be getting more better understanding when you will be actually doing that task. Okay? So next is the DS engine. Again, DS engine is executing the job. Okay. Now the DS repository. Repository is like a database that stores the objects in a designer. I told you already, right? It is storing the development part of it. Whatever you have developed, it will store it over there in a repository. And there are that whole objects, source and target metadata, transformation rules, whatever you have developed, it will store in repository. Okay. Next, we have 3 types of repositories. Local repository specific to every developer that I told you. We have central repository, that will be the common repository. Okay. And we have profiler repository that stores information that is used to determine the quality of data. We will not be using this particular repository as a part of our training course. But if you need the details of this also, I'll explain. Okay. Then we have access servers. Again, we may not be using this particular part or component of the BODS very often. It passes messages between web applications. So for example, if you have a consistent database where A and B values are saved, right? And the C value, you are just taking it from the A plus B equals to C. Now if A and B values are static values, they are not changing at all and they are saved in a particular database, then we are using job servers. But access servers is for the real-time data. For example, the currency values. You know that if we see about the, for example, the prices of gold, they change every day, right? You cannot take a database and save the gold price over there because it changes every day, right? So from web applications, we take the latest value. That means this is the real-time data that we are getting. This real-time data is done with the processing is done with the help of access servers. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have address servers. Some of the basically it is the server for address validations. We have global address clean EMEA engine. It basically deals with the address thing. There are certain US addresses, for example. In US we have a very standard addresses. So basically address server is meant for some address cleaning thing. And this is something that we generally do not use in our IT industry. I mean, we are not using it in our projects very often. Very important component, very important component, DS administrator, which is, yeah, so basically which is central management console. Not designer, for example, Deepika and Aparajita, sorry, Deepika and Aparajita, you are developing the code, right? Now you want that, this is the code which is in your local system. You want a particular web application from where you can access your job servers. You want to execute. There are certain applications, certain tasks that you can perform from the web console. This central management console is the web console. That means it is present over internet. Okay, you can just go to the site and then you can access your jobs which you have developed in your local repository from the job server. From the central management console. I'll be showing you basically all these things, okay? Browser based access it provides for certain administrative features. Some of the documentation features it provides, very good documentation features. You can always document whatever you have developed in your repository also with the help of this administrator. Okay? Next, there are reports. This is a report tool which you can use for creating reports, repository summary, job analysis, statistics basically. For example, an administrator would like to know how much time a job has taken or what is the performance thing, some statistical information if you need for your job, then that you can get with the help of metadata reports too. Again, not a very useful tool. I mean, we don't use it very often in our project. Okay. Because it's all about architecture of the BODS. Let me see if this was a topic 4. Okay, we still have one topic left. I don't know if we have time left for that. Just 1 minute. So am I going very fast or very slow?
Hello?
Brajita? Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I going too fast or too slow?
No, it's okay for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, we don't have much time left, but still, let's do one thing. I'll quickly go through you the 4 topics. Okay, I'll be connecting with you in the next session on the same topic, but let me just give you an overview. This is all about, I'll be showing you the management console that I told you a very important component, right? This is how our management console looks like. See here, we have an administrator tab icon, performing all the administrator tasks. We have auto documentation functionality, very useful functionality. It will give you the details or it will help you documenting whatever you have developed in your repository. We have a data validation part. We have an impact and lineage analysis part, operational dashboard part, data quality reports. If I tell you in our project, we are generally using only administrator and we are only using auto documentation. Okay. Don't use these 4 other parts very often. So you should just have an overview of what all these parts are. That's it. See, This is how, this is for example, if you see this administrator interface, see over here we have central repositories, we have a tab saying, okay, what all are the central repositories you have. So for example, I created a local repository, is db underscore local underscore repo underscore mekha. This is our local repo, which is being shown over here. So we can always manage it from here. Then we have some connections information, server group, lots of things are there. Okay.
Yeah.
See this. For example, this is something that you have developed, right? So this is auto documentation part, which is providing you how to document it. So it is providing you the documented part of this. It will help you to document what all you have developed. It is giving you column level information also even. What all joins you have used. This is all about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do one thing. I will come back to this topic again in the next session. Okay, the topic 4. Any other expectations you want, any other add-ons you want, just let me know. I'll be adding up in this course. Okay?
Yeah, actually, I don't know, but if